Today, I'm going to explain why Epic Games added Substrate to Unreal Engine. Let's go! So, last week we talked about diffuse albedo, F0, and F90, which are these new parameters right here at the top of the Substrate slab. I explained how we can translate the material parameters that we're used to, base color, metallic, and specular, into diffuse albedo, F0, and F90. And I think a natural question to come out of last week's discussion is, why? Using base color, metallic, and specular was so easy. It worked great, and it's an industry standard, so why would Epic change it? The new system no longer automatically makes diffuse black for me for metallic surfaces, and it doesn't automatically make sure that reflectance is low for nonmetals and high for metals. So if this new system makes it more complicated to get correct results, what's the point? Well, that's a great question. I'm glad that you asked. So, here, we've briefly touched on the drawbacks of Substrate, mainly that it's more complex and requires a deeper knowledge of materials in order to get correct results. Today, we're going to talk about the positive side of Substrate, or what you can do with it that wasn't possible before. The first thing that we can do with Substrate that we couldn't do before is use colored specular on non-metallic surfaces. So when using the base color, metallic, and specular inputs, the data type of the specular input is a float. This input only accepts grayscale values, and that means that I can't make non-metal materials with colored specular. Now, almost all non-metallic surfaces do not have colored specular, so this system is enforcing that fact. It's forcing you to use a black and white value. But there are a few types of non-metal surfaces that do have colored specular. Some examples are soap bubbles, butterfly wings, mother of pearl, and peacock feathers. These surfaces have complex microstructures that tint reflected light. In Substrate, the F0 parameter is a float 3, so it accepts color instead of just a grayscale value, and that means that we can create these more complex surface types naturally without resorting to hacks like we did before. It's important to remember that F0 should not use color for most non-metal surfaces, but for the rare cases when you need it, you can. Next, Substrate is much better at creating surfaces where metallics blend with non-metallics. These are surfaces like tarnished silver, oxidized copper, or rusty iron. In the previous system, I could paint a mask that defined metals as white and non-metals as black, but gray areas on the metallic mask always ended up looking really weird because they were a half blend of the metallic and non-metallic parameters that were never physically accurate. So we were basically told, hey, keep your metal mask either black or white and don't go into the gray there because it doesn't work that well. So let me show you what I mean. Here's an example of a copper material where I'm trying to make the copper oxidized. So here we can see our material. We have the copper color, and we're blending the base color here with our oxidized base color using a lerp. And then here we have our metallic value. We're blending between the 1 value for our copper and 0.5 for our oxidized value. And then here we have our roughness. The roughness of our copper is 0.3. Then we have a roughness texture that's defining our oxidized value. So we're blending all of these values with the alpha blend value, which is this mask right here. So I'm determining some areas are solid copper, some areas are solid oxidation, and then there are the areas in between. But if you're like me, so it looks pretty good right here where there's copper, and it looks pretty good right here where it's all oxidation. But this area here in between, where we're trying to blend between the oxidation and the copper, it just doesn't look that great. These values are kind of a halfway mark between metallic and not, and it just doesn't work for me. It looks like it's covered with plaster or something. I don't know. So this is the non-substrate version, and you can see we're just using a bunch of lerp nodes here to blend between our copper material and our oxidation material. But let's take a look at how this can be done in Substrate. So in Substrate, we have this concept of slabs. So I have this slab, which is our metal BSDF. So I'm passing in my copper value, I'm passing in a value of 0 for my albedo, and I'm passing in a value of 0.3 for my roughness. And my copper is just that simple. That's all it is. And then down here, I have a second slab, which is for my oxidation material. So I have my oxidation color, I have a metallic value of 0.5, and I have my oxidation roughness and my oxidation normal. So this is my oxidation material, and this is my substrate slab for my copper. And then I can blend between the two of these slabs using this node here that's called Substrate Horizontal Blend. So I have two material types and I want to blend them together, and I'm able to use that same mask that I used in my other version of the material here to blend between the two. So let's take a look. If we switch our Unreal base node here from the previous version that we're seeing here, I'm just going to plug in my Substrate version here now, and we'll take a look and see. Now, when we're using Substrate, I hope this is obvious to you, but I'm seeing that this oxidation and our copper is just blending very naturally. And so we're able to take this metallic material and this non-metallic material and blend between the two of them and get something that just looks correct. We no longer have that weird, like, sort of metal, sort of not. It just looks like it's metallic and it's getting oxidized, and the two of those are blending somewhere in the middle, and we're getting correct results. This is our second bonus benefit of using Substrate. We're able to blend between two different kinds of materials in a very straightforward, very intuitive way and get correct, physically correct results. All right, let's take a look at our third example. So here we used the Substrate Horizontal Blend node here to blend between two materials kind of side by side. And in addition to blending materials side by side like this, you can also blend materials vertically. So let's take a look at this example here. Here I have a carbon fiber material. And what's going on here is I have a material that's kind of like the bottom layer, and that's the carbon fiber weave. But then I also have a clear coat layer on top of the carbon fiber that's giving it this perfectly smooth finish. So we're getting two different finishes here. One underneath, that's the texture of the carbon fiber, and then kind of a glazed polish layer on top of that that gives us a mirror finish. Let's take a look at the material that's enabling this look. So again, we're using two substrate slabs. My top layer is a transparent layer. So I've set my diffuse albedo to black. I've set my roughness to 0.05. And then I've set my SSS MFP, and this stands for Subsurface Scattering Mean Free Path, to 10. And this is what is making my material transparent. Now, I'm not going to go into detail here on this value today. I'll just kind of say that this is what allows us to get a transparent surface on this material. So this is my clear coat layer. And then down here, I have my my carbon fiber layer. I've set my albedo again to black, my F0 to 0.04, my roughness to 0.4, and then I'm using this normal map here to create the shape of the surface. And then I can take both of these slabs, my clear coat layer and my carbon fiber layer, and I can blend them with this node here called Substrate vertical layer. And if I give it a thickness here, it'll blend between my transparent layer on top and my carbon fiber layer on the bottom. And you can see now I'm vertically blending these two different materials. The one gives me a nice reflective polished surface on the outside, and the other one gives me kind of a complex shaped material with its own diffuse and specular properties underneath the polished surface that's above. So, Substrate gives us the ability to use colored specular on non-metallic objects. It gives us the ability to blend between two materials correctly on a horizontal basis like this. And it also allows us to blend layers of materials vertically like this. So those are three major benefits of Substrate. The system is a bit more complex to learn and to start understanding and put together, but it does allow us to make significantly more complex and layered materials. Now, there are some additional features that we can see down here. We can add features like fuzz and glint to our materials, and we are going to go deeper and touch on these in future videos. But today I just wanted to mention them, that we have these additional features that weren't available before. So today I wanted to help you understand why Epic is making the material system more complex. It's so that we can create more complex and layered materials in a more realistic and logical way. And because the system is more complex, I'm going to be explaining all of the details of these things so that you can learn it and take full advantage of it. So, thanks a lot for watching, and I'm glad you're coming along for this ride with me. And we'll see you next week.